Welcome to Crochet Therapy and the 12 weeks of Crochet Christmas. This week we will be making a really lovely granny square placemat. It's super easy. It's made with 6 granny squares that we are going to crochet together and then do a very simple single crochet border. This is a simple, quick, and fun project to do. So come on, join me. Let's get this party started. What you'll need for this project: cotton yarn of any color. I just happen to be using Christmas colors. I'll show you what colors I'm using, and that way you can duplicate it if you like. You will need a 5.0 millimeter hook, size H hook. You'll need a needle for sewing in your ends. You will need a pair of scissors, and that is pretty basic. That's what you'll need. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my red yarn, and what we're going to do is tie a slip knot. Once we have our slip knot, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to join to that first chain. Now, once I join to the first chain, I take my fingers and I usually grab the chain itself and I pull it down. And that way, when I bring my yarn through, then I have that circle right there. Do you see that circle? Yes. So I'm going to hold my fingers there to hold on to that circle. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 2 double crochets into that circle. 1 and 2. And I like to put my double crochets around this tail as well, the tail end of the yarn, and that way it kind of locks it in. So here I have a chain 3 and 2 double crochets. I am going to chain 2, 1, 2, and put 3 double crochets into that circle. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then I usually just kind of pull it over a little bit, and that way I have a down and a side. Then I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and I'm going to put 3 more double crochets into this circle. 1, 2, and 3. So now if you see, make sure that you check. I have 3 clusters of 3 double crochets. Of course, this one has a chain 3, and that counts as the first double crochet. So I'm just going to kind of tug this over and make a little room there, and I am going to do 3 more double crochets into this circle to make the 4th side. When we have a granny square, we always have 4 sides, and right now we have 1, 2, 3. So before I do that, I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to put 3 more double crochets into this circle. 1, 2, and 3. And then what I'm going to do is make sure that I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have to connect this square to this square, and I'm calling it, this cluster to this cluster. So I have to chain 2, 1, 2. All the corners get 2 chain spaces. Remember that corners in this project get 2 chain spaces. And then I'm going to connect to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch. So there we go. I'm going to pull this out so that you can see. And so I've got that, and I'm just going to lay that down. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides to this square. It will become more of a square as we go along. This is how we're going to do this granny square. There are lots of ways of doing a granny square, but this is the way we're going to do this particular one. So we slip stitched into the top of that chain 3. Now we are going to slip stitch into this next stitch, slip stitch into this next stitch here, slip stitch into the chain 2 space. Okay, so we are now in this chain 2 space, the very next section. We are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are going to put 2 more double crochets into that space. 1 and 2. The next step is, because this is going to be a corner, we are going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we are going to put 3 more double crochets into that same corner space. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now you can see that we have a corner, a nice corner. And so this is our first row, and this is the start of our second row. Okay, and so we have, this is a corner right here, and we have the right side of the corner and the left side of the corner. Now between this side and this corner, we are going to chain 1. The sides will always get a chain 1, and the corners in this project will always get a chain 2. So I chained 1. In this corner, I am going to crochet 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and that will make this corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 more double crochets. And this is the technique that we are going to use throughout this granny square project. One more. Okay, and always make sure that you have 3 double crochets in each granny square cluster, in the corner, chain 2, between the sides, a chain 1. So now I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to go into this third corner, and we have a double crochet 3 times, and chain 2, and double crochet 3 times. The side will get a chain 1, and then 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets in this last corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, 1, 2, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then because this is a side, I am going to chain 1 and connect to the top of that chain 3. Now this is how we are going to do all of the rounds of this granny square to start the next row. Right here is our first stitch that we are going to slip stitch into. Can you see that? And then this is the second stitch that we are going to slip stitch into. So we always slip stitch into 2 stitches because there are 2 more double crochets in that cluster. And then we slip stitch into the corner. The corner starts out with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 3 double crochets in that same space to make the other side of the corner. Whoop. Let's get back on track here. This is the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Now, okay, can you see that? So this is the first row, this is the second row, and we're starting on the third row. Every row we do will add more rows of crochet clusters. So on the sides, we chain 1. We go into that next granny square space right here, which is on the side. And so we chain 1 and we put 3 double crochets in that side. Sides only get 3 double crochets in each space. Chain 1 and go to the corner. 3 double crochets in a corner. Chain 2, 3 double crochets. And the corner is made. Can you see that? So now we are going to chain 1 because we are on a side. Chain 1 and go into this next space and place 3 double crochets into this space. Chain 1, and then we're going to work a corner. How do we work a corner? 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Very good. And we are going to work this process all the way around until we have the proper amount of rows. Now, for this project, we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. 6 rows will give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It will give us 7 inches of a crochet square using the H hook 5.0 millimeter and a single strand of cotton yarn. This particular one was really pretty. Look, it's red and white striped, and I really do like it. This one is a Hobby Lobby Crafter Secret. And so, remember, chain 2 between the 3 double crochets in a corner, chain 1 between the 3 double crochets on a side. So that's how you do a granny square. Make sure that you go up to row 6, that it is 7 inches, and once you have 6 squares, then we'll come back and we will work them together and stitch them together to make our placemat. Here are all 6 of my squares next to one another, and this is the way I have decided to put them together. So I have this very colorful square here. I have the red and white here. I have the white with red over here. I have a lighter colorful here, and then this is similar to this one, the white with the red, and then over here is the red with the white. You can put them together any way you like. You can make them all the same color. I kind of like them all mismatched. I do kind of wish I had done 3 of these with the red and the white, because then I could have one here, and one here. But this is what I've got. So I am going to, I might just change it up. Let's see. Maybe I will put these 2 in the corner. I'm not sure. That's why it's good to play around with your colors, to figure out what you like. I kind of like this better because then I have the 2 very rich red on the sides. And then I have these 2, which are kind of bold, and then these 2, which are a little bit, softer in color. We are going to put these together. Isn't this a pretty combination? I am in love with these colors. You can make your placemat any color you like. What I'm going to do is take 2 sides, and I am going to put the wrong sides together, and I am going to crochet the stitches with the back loops only of both sides. And so the back loops only, when I'm looking at this one, it is this back loop here, right here, not the whole stitch like this, but just the back loop. And then at the same time, I'm going to grab just the back loop of this other. And that is how I'm going to crochet them together. It will make a nice little border, a little ridge. I'm going to start in the corner, and I'm going to put these together with a solid white yarn. Okay, to get started on sewing our pieces together, we are going to put the wrong sides together, and then we are going to start in a corner. Make a slip knot on your hook, and then find the corner, and there should be 2 stitches in your corner, and you are going to go into the top stitch and then go into the top stitch on the other corner, and we are going to slip stitch into that stitch. And then we are going to do back loop only and slip stitch, and make sure that you're going nice and loose, and we are just going to slip stitch into the back loop only of each side. Back loop only, back loop only. Let me see if I can make sure that you can see what we are doing. Okay, so here we have back loop only, And then this one we have back loop only. And we are going to slip stitch into that section. Back loop only and slip stitch. Now, each stitch will be corresponding with the other square. So when you get to a centerpiece, when you get to a space, you should be on a space for both sides. Back loop only and slip stitch. Back loop only, slip stitch. And the trick to this is you don't want to get too tight with your slip stitches. Make sure that you are leaving a little bit of grace in there so that your piece will lay flat. Back loop only. And it's really easy once you get started. Back loop only. Back loop only. And slip stitch. And so this, your wrong sides are together, and so then when you lay your piece together, this is what it will look like. Just a nice little stitch. And it's so easy, it's so fast, and it really is one of the easiest ways to stitch your work together. So what I'm going to do, I actually went down, in the middle of the piece. You can put those together, do both sides, and then what you can do is just one long strip down the middle, and that will connect all of your pieces together. That's what I'm going to do. And then once we have them all slip stitched together, then we can start creating the border. So let's continue to work on slip stitching our squares together. And how easy is this? Just make sure that you have wrong sides together and back loop only, back loop only. Take your time, slip stitch it in there, not too tight, and you'll do just fine. I can't wait to see this finished product. Let's keep working, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so the inside sections are sewn together in the 2 rows, as you can see. And actually they're not sewn together, they are slip stitched together. So now I just have 2 rectangles, and what I'm going to do is put the wrong side together on the rectangles. And let's see, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to match them up. And this way I am going to zip that slip stitch all the way down using that same technique that I used on these center parts. So we are going to make a slip knot. We are going to find in this corner, we have 2 pieces to the corner. Remember, we chain 2 in each of the corners. So I'm going to take the top back loop in that corner, and I'm going to, now if I have to turn this over so that I can see, this is a stitch and this is a stitch in that corner, then I'm going to take the back loop of that and slip stitch it together. There we go. And this one piece will just roll right over. Then I'm going to go into the next stitch, back loop only, find the corresponding stitch on this side, which is right here, and slip stitch it through. And just keep on going all the way down, and then I will have a big rectangle placemat. We're on the home stretch, guys. Let's work on that together, and I will meet you back when we get to the end. Look at how beautiful this placemat is. It's gorgeous. So now let's work on the border. Our border is very simple. We are going to do a 2-row single crochet border on this placemat. It will make it very simple. It will stabilize the outer edges of our placemat, and it's super easy. It's not overdone. This is a very homey, very warm project to do, and I didn't want a fancy border to take away from just the loveliness of this project. Let's make a slip knot. And we are going to connect to our corner into that space. So we're going to slip stitch into that space, chain 1, and then we are going to single crochet into that space. Okay? And then we are going to single crochet all the way down the row. When we reach a chain 1 space, we are going to go into that space and place 1 single crochet in that space. But in the top of our double crochets, we are going to place 1 single crochet, and we're going to do this all the way around, and I'll meet you back when we get to back to the beginning. My friends, I have completed 2 single crochet rows around my placemat, and I'm going to slide it so that you can see and get the full effect of this beautiful, beautiful placemat. I love it. I love it, love it. This is one of the prettiest placemats I've ever seen. So it's just such a beautiful, beautiful placemat. And I can't wait to set the plates on. It's large enough so that when it gets washed, and if it shrinks a little bit in the wash, it will still be fine. This is, let's see, 21 inches wide, and let's see what it is this way, 14 inches high. So it's the perfect size. It really is for a placemat. I am in love with this. This is so pretty, and I love having the different squares. It's very Christmassy. This one reminds me of a candy cane. This color, oh, it just reminds me of Christmas. This with the little bit of green reminds me of a little minty candy. I really am enjoying this placemat so much. Now, if you would rather make this placemat in colors to complement your decor, your kitchen, whatever color design you have, go for it. I am in love with the Christmas design. So with a simple 2-row single crochet border, I really love this pattern. You can, if you feel the need, you can fancy up the border. I'm liking this very plain, steady border. You can use any cotton yarn that you like for this project. I'm going to show you the yarn that I purchased from Hobby Lobby for this project. There are 3 different colors, and so it is the Crafter's Secret cotton, and this one is the green, red, and white, and it is in the colorway Christmas Print. The next one is the white with red, and that is also the Secret cotton, or Crafter's Secret cotton, and that one is in shaded crimson. The last one that I used is a red with white stripe, also in the Crafter's Secret cotton, and that one is Peppermint Twist. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and don't forget to come back again next Saturday for an all-new tutorial in our 12 Weeks of Crochet Christmas 2023.